Guys in the infantry, they say some pretty messed up things. I was not used to the hikes. My NCOs just almost were insulted that I was there. Our hips are just not meant to hold weight like that. We are literally designed to birth children.
All right, what we got, my friends, here is Claudia Murphy, Corporal Claudia Murphy, now out. We got Anthony Glenn, retired devil dog. This Claudia Murphy, she was the first woman mortarman in the Marine Corps. It's like having a man become a labor and delivery nurse. There's a different culture among that group of nurses, right? I would suspect that'd be very tricky, and it was.
Male Marines again. What do you hear?
I think there's all types of reasons, but number one, again, it's like they're treated like crap. You know, they're treated like crap in the culture that the Marine Corps has. Again, like the Marine Corps doesn't care about you as an individual. There are some people within the Marine Corps that do care about you.
Does anybody think the Marine Corps cares about you? Did they ever think that in a big picture? Institutional organizations, do they care about you? Does Walmart care about you? I don't think they do. So to Claudia's point, yeah, I don't think the Marine Corps cares about you. Maybe your platoon sergeant, your squad leader. I don't expect an organization, in particular the Marine Corps, to care about me. That's where there's like a big gap difference, I guess, in age.
Doing your part in the Marine Corps, but after a while, it's like, you're not going to change the whole Marine Corps. It's just not going to happen as one person, right?
Right.
And so, and especially if you're already in the Marine Corps trying to change it, it's really tough. And so guys are just tired of doing a thankless job, breaking their backs.
Do you want to change the Marine Corps? What they do, the effectiveness. It's changed a lot. Obviously, I'm old. But I talk to guys that are in, their sons are in. It has changed radically. I mean, every generation. So it is changing, but when you, again, back to my example, when you throw her in to a platoon that's all men and a battalion that's all men, again, it's like throwing me as a labor and delivery nurse on a night shift. It's going to be an issue. So I expect when she comes in, there's going to be a lot of issues, which there were.
The majority of guys, I think they're just tired of it and they want some real purpose or meaning in their life than, you know, what they're given. And yeah, I think it's just like not a good environment to be in right now. And like war is a huge thing. Most guys that go into the infantry sign up to people. That's just the fact of it. That's what they're there to do. I actually got an NJP out of the schoolhouse.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a rumor started about me that I was sleeping with one of the other students. One written statement given to the first sergeant, and all of the instructors jumped on that. All of my instructors jumped on that. Then I was just NJP'd for it. Nothing happened to me.
All right, so she was NJP'd when she was in infantry training battalion for alleged having a relation with a male. I would just expect that would happen naturally at anywhere. What she's saying, what I'm hearing is the organization was kind of against her. She's not really terribly critical about the Marine Corps as she could have been. I mean, you could run lots of places with this, but I would expect when you just thrust one person into something that historically is a machismo, macho, an alpha male organization, is going to be problematic.
So when that happened, they didn't do anything except give me the NJP. I didn't get rank reduction. I didn't get cut in pay. I actually picked up the next day as PFC. That's
odd, isn't it? I'm not discrediting her statement. YouTube told me I need to tone it down, so I'm trying to here. She had NJP'd, and then she picked up rank the next day. Why do you think that is? I'd never heard of that. You get like NJP'd, and then you pick up a rank. Typically lose a rank, but she was a private. She could have lost a rank. But she picked up PFC the next day. You think the male Marine who allegedly did something got NJP'd? The comment section on this video, there are some interesting comments. You be nice here. YouTube again told me, tone it down, JT. Easy does it.
Happened to me, like, because they had one statement from one guy saying that he thought he heard something. That was the statement. My master sergeant, he told everyone in my company, because I was the first female infantryman in my company that was coming over ever. So he was told everyone not to talk to me. He got everyone in the company, was like, don't look at her, don't talk to her, don't do anything, or I'll chop your... That's what he told a whole company of young men. And so...
I think that was a wise statement, right? You're trying not to get all these young devil dogs in trouble, and by default, when you put a young lady in, and they're in the barracks, there's going to be tension, issues, you know, because they're young people, of course. And you're looking to step on a landmine by accident. And you guys ever, we used to call them WMs, I'm dating myself, but any of you guys ever mess with any people you worked with It just seems like it always ends poorly.
My senior Marines, your NCOs, they just didn't like that I was there because male pride is real. I think all pride is real. Whether it's male, female, everyone has pride, but especially men that joined the infantry.
The Marine Corps infantry.
The Marine Corps infantry, especially, that pride is different.
I'm not sure it's pride. I understand what she's communicating here. But if you're an NCO, your squad leader, platoon sergeant, whatever, you're worried about your young devil dogs doing the wrong thing by accident, trying to date her, just natural things that would happen with 18, 19-year-olds. You're scared they're going to say a joke like they tell among their boys, and she may be offensive because that's what young guys do. I could see why they'd say that. If I had guys who are like, whoa, you have to be careful. This is wrought with issues and nothing to do with her. I don't blame her a minute. The Marine Corps decided this was a good experiment, a good idea. And she's flipped a little bit. At one point, she said women shouldn't go into the infantry. And it became more nuanced. She wants the culture to change to be more accepting, adaptable with women involved. It's not going to happen overnight. She was the test case here.
Right. It's a way stronger, more protected pride. And for me to come, I think my NCOs just almost were insulted that I was there. And they hated that I was there, and they didn't want me there.
I don't think they disliked her as an individual. I think the issue becomes, how is this going to be as a management problem, right? When you have one female amongst a ton of men that are all in their active years, of course there's going to be lots of issues, just physical, potential people dating, and a lot of statements that you may make among your boys that is not appropriate among women. And it's hard to change that culture. I mean, think about this for a second. You played high school football. You talk a lot of smack in the locker room with your friends, your male friends. You go to the Marine Corps, and you're used to being around that environment, and then you're around a woman. It's not something you can, it's hard. It's a hard transition, right? And I don't know where her barracks were located, but she's not in the squad bay with the fellas. So now she's isolated, and they've been told, hey, do not say anything to, do anything wrong, to be offensive towards her. So
they influenced my peers not to hang out with me and not to speak to me or talk to me. It's very lonely. So I didn't have any real friends. And even when I did make a friend, I had one person say, I'm sorry, I want to be your friend, but I just don't want to get in trouble. So I can't talk to you anymore. And
can you imagine the PowerPoints, the lectures before she came? From your senior NGOs, telling you how to behave, defining the sharps training, defining everything that could be offensive. And sometimes you don't even know. Like a joke you'd make among your guy friends could offend her. And she seems pretty reasonable. In this podcast, again, linked in the description.
I would try to hang out with people around the barracks and stuff, but I would really just be on my own. I'd work out and, I'd watch movies or read or paint or do something fun. But I never really involved other people. And
was this a good experiment by the Marine Corps? Is there a way to fix this? I mean, you're talking generations of bringing ladies into an organization, and then you have to figure out accommodations.
Not because they really wanted to be my friend or hang out with me because they liked hanging out with me. It's more just because they wanted to either get somewhere and they had other intentions, or because they were just curious. And then I would never hang out with that person again after they, got.
What I saw in leadership positions when I was in the fleet? I saw a lot of hip injuries for females.
Yeah, our hips are just not meant to hold weight like that. We are literally designed to birth children, and our hips are just different because of that. So men's hips, they're straight to stack weight on top. It's just straight. Women's are curved to be able to birth a child. That's that's why they get a lot of hip injuries, because our hips are just not meant to carry weight.
I would imagine she came out with a lot of physical injuries, I'd suspect. And this podcast goes into other aspects of her enlistment, which I won't talk about here, but I would suspect this is an expensive end for the VA. All justified. Again, not talking about her, just the social experiment, we'll call it, the Marine Corps adopting, bringing females into the infantry. It doesn't sound like she had the normal Marine Corps enlistment getting out as a young corporal.
Guys in the infantry, they say some pretty messed up things all the time. And I've heard a lot of it, but I know that there's just some things.
So you think there's an extra filter around the culture of the of the infantry, specifically because you're a female?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that guys are just not comfortable in that way, because I think that immediately what it goes to, oh, there's a female. I'm programmed to hit on said woman, that's, and immediately, that's just, they've been, guys have been programmed to do that. And it's like, they will never see you as a friend. And your immediate response is, oh, let me, hit on this girl and see where.
I don't know if they're programmed. Isn't it just a hormonal thing because they're young men? I mean, she appears to be an attractive young lady, so that's just natural, right? Any workplace, you work at a restaurant, the male and the females tend to get together and have a relationship, let's call it. I don't find that a Marine Corps thing. It seems like an expected outcome, right?
That's your natural response, right? And once that doesn't happen and that's not happening, you don't have that same connection that you would with a guy, right? That the Marine Corps is kept in this repetitively toxic culture because it's a machine. Like, you can't set a culture because they never keep you in one spot, right? You can't be the person to make a really great group of people because they never keep you around.
The Marine Corps is a toxic culture, she says. I think putting her in the mix, definitely, that was her perception for 100%. I can see why. If I have 2 daughters, would I tell them to join the Marine Corps enlisted infantry? Absolutely not. I said, it's going to be really challenging. You're young. There's going to be way too many complications. Don't do it. Now, the Marine Corps is unique for you other guys that didn't spend time. They do rotate guys every 3 or 4 years. I knew a guy was in the Air Force, the same place for 10 years. That would be unheard of in the Marine Corps. They do rotate people a lot so they can cross-pollinate, ideally. I'm not sure the intent is to establish or continue a toxic culture, albeit is any culture of the military, in particular the Marine Corps, Devil Dogs chime in, do you think it's toxic?
The Marine Corps is never going to have a healthy culture because we've set this toxic culture as our standard and all over the Marine Corps. And as soon as someone tries to change it, they're gone.
How would you define toxic? I looked it up. I'll see how I put it up here. In modern 2025 terms, is it toxic masculinity? I mean, that's somewhat the military in general. There's a lot of men. They're very competitive. So would that be toxic masculinity or just what's needed for the trade, for the job?
Mm-hmm. It's not men's fault that women are treated this badly. I think they add to it, but they're ignorant, right? I think a lot of men in the infantry are ignorant because they will never understand what I'm going through.
No, they won't. I think the culture, though, should women are treated badly. I was hearing what she's saying. But I submit to you, the men would be treated badly by the same definition, right? It is the Marine Corps. And what bad means, now when I was in the Marine Corps, I expected it. My expectation was different because I was told by my father, grandfather, uncles, everything else what to expect. And I was raised pretty rough, rigid. I understand she was homeschooled in Vermont. It's a little different, I was around coaches that were very snatch you up, put hands on you often. It was just part of growing up as an old guy, right? So the Marine Corps, is the culture toxic or the expectations not aligned?
The only person that I've ever met that's ever understood me completely is my friend Jaden Pato. She was a rifleman in my.
No man will understand that. Now, what I hear, the culture, the way the senior NCOs act towards you, you got a lot of people trying to protect themselves, protect the junior Marines, so she doesn't get offended and they don't do something by accident, let's call it an offender. Now, you would know, I hope, day one, no relationship because she was the first infantry mortarman. So it's going to be tricky. She doesn't get the normal experience, like hanging out with your boys at the barracks, drinking beers, messing around. They're terrified they're going to get burned. Absolutely. I'd be terrified that I was getting in trouble. But when you add this person in to this young group of people, can it ever be successful unless you reframe the expectations? Or does the Marine Corps have to change?